President Biden, by his own admission, is saying that this is the same deal that he presented earlier. And yet Israel rejected the deal the last time that President Biden proposed it. And that's because they opted to destroy Gaza instead, spend most of that year doing exactly that. It was to fulfill a genocidal project that they have actually carried out in actions. And President Biden did not just go along with it or let them do it. He actually armed and funded that genocide with additional billions in military funding for Israel, and even intervened at the UN to veto any effort to impose a ceasefire on Israel. So no matter how much Biden tries to spin this as somehow an achievement for him, Biden's legacy is unquestionably one of blocking a ceasefire and arming and funding this genocide that has lasted for over 15 months now continuously. And sure, this may have come because of pressure by Donald Trump. It may have come because of a deal behind the scenes that Donald Trump has struck with Netanyahu. Either way, we know that Donald Trump has a very lengthy and sinister history towards Palestinians. So even though this is a bit of good news, a sigh of relief that the large-scale slaughter may be coming to an end, this also, we should be very vigilant about what comes next, because we know what Trump's history is. And the people that Trump has surrounded himself with are incredibly anti-Palestinian, people who endorse Israel's annexation of the West Bank in violation of international law. So the future may still be very bleak in spite of this bit of good news. As we're considering awaiting the start of the ceasefire, Israel is just accelerating its bombing of Gaza, killing more than 80 people today throughout the Gaza Strip, more than 30 of whom since that deal was announced. And the fact that no matter what happens, Gaza is going to be a concentration camp that is in ruins, with tens of thousands of people having been killed, with many more buried under the rubble. We still don't know the full extent of this genocide, and countless children who have lost parents and who have lost limbs. The situation in Gaza is incredibly dire. The one thing that seems to be off the table is that Palestinians can be a free people who no longer live under the boot of Israeli control and occupation. And as long as that is the case, we're only talking about simply when this crisis is going to reignite. And if we're ever serious about ending this crisis permanently, that means that we have to recognize Palestinians' right to freedom and self-determination and justice and human rights. And Israel has to be compelled to accept Palestinian equality and human rights. And that can only come if there is a change in American policy towards Israel.
Omar Badar, really good to get your thoughts.